In today's video, I want to share with you all an experience or another experience I had with forgiving that person who hurt me. And I know we all have that person in our life that we just have a hard time forgiving. So hopefully by the end of this video moves you, the Holy Spirit touches you to just forgive. So here we go. Growing up, there were about 3 other males, my brother being one, and 2 other male cousins, and the rest were female. I have a sister and a lot of female cousins, and so I always thought that, the 4 of us were very close. We're all close in age, and, I really enjoyed hanging out with them and talking with them and playing with them. And, as we get older, life happens and issues arise, and, we just don't know how to deal with it, or at least I didn't know how to deal with it. So, in our teenage years, or in my teenage years, there's a cousin of mine, I felt like, not to go into too much detail of his history, but he kind of strayed away from the family. And so I felt concerned, and I really wanted to help him come back. And so I would go to his house and offer to pick him up and take him to family parties. And what happened during this picking up, it happened many times, not just one time, but he would say, "Yeah, you can come pick me up." And so I would come pick him up. But as I was waiting, I would wait. And I would wait and I would wait, and it seemed like I would just wait for like hours. And maybe looking back, maybe it wasn't hours, maybe it was just like 30 minutes or something like that. But he knew that I was coming, and he knew like I was going to pick him up. So the considerate thing to do would be to be ready. But every single time I went to go pick him up, like it was always I always had to wait, and I always had to wait, and I could never understand it. But I thought to myself, okay, well, I want him to come back to the family. I want him to come to the family parties. I want to hang out with him at these family parties. And every single time, that's how it went. And so that kind of built up, like time after time after time. And, it hurt me. I'm human, and like that stuff hurts. And so I think that was the beginning of me holding a grudge against him. And so again, life happens, and he ends up going to school to become a healthcare professional, and I'm already in the field. And so once he was done with school, I was like, hey, we're looking for some people to hire. Would you be interested in working? And he was like, yeah, sure, okay. So now I brought him onto the team, and my pride came into play, because here I am thinking that I'm helping him out, that I'm doing this for him, so I should get treated a certain way. And again, pride is a bad thing. And so I started to feel like he owed me something. And he would work, and I would feel like he wasn't appreciative, and I would feel that a lot. And then so it got to a point where I was focusing on that, and then that not being appreciated, that start to grow, I guess, and my desire to not be around him, my desire to just hold a grudge with him, like it just continued. And there's a airplane passing through right now, so excuse the noise, the airplane noise. And so, yeah, he was working with me, and I just didn't like feeling not appreciated. And so that contributed to my grudge holding with him. And so it would be awkward, now he's making money, and he's showing up to family parties, and we're hanging out, but I still just had that grudge. I just couldn't let it go. And every time I would see him, like I just did not want to talk to him, and it hurt me. And people say, holding grudges, it hurts you more than it hurts the other person. And I didn't believe that at first, But I could see how that rings true today, like starting this faith journey, that yeah, holding grudges, like it really just hurts you, and it hurt me as an individual spiritually, and hopefully it doesn't manifest itself physically. Just that holding on to it, man, like it's not good. And so when I started my faith journey, God placed it in my heart that, I needed to forgive people. And he showed me that, like, forgiveness is going to be the key in coming closer to me. And I would turn on the radio. I was referred to relevant radio. And once I turned it on, it just talked about forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. And so, it wasn't easy for me to forgive this guy, because the times that I tried, it wasn't working out. Like, he worked night shift, and he was, tired, obviously, and he had other things going on in his life. So for us to meet up, it was kind of hard. And so I would always be like, okay, well, let's meet up. And it wasn't happening. So then finally he was like, well, what's up? What do you want to talk about? And so I kind of just told him like how I felt about him, and it was no longer a pleasant feeling. Like I just kind of let him know that I was holding a grudge, and that I wanted to let go of it, and I wanted to resume our relationship, and be cousins again and be friends again. And thanks be to God, he was very open, and he was very understanding to how I felt. And in reflecting on that on forgiving him and wanting to forgive him, back when I was younger, it was hard because I had, and I probably still have, a lot of pride, and the pride was preventing me from doing so. But after going on this journey, God revealed to me how much pride that I have, and that I needed to let go of it in order to forgive my cousin. And so I remember that morning when I called him, and we talked. I cried, and I don't know how he felt, but it was a very, very big release for me. Like, all that hatred, all that grudge, those negative feelings that I had towards him, like I let it go. And in a way, I offered it up to God and said, God, I value his friendship, this relationship, more than holding this grudge. And so I want to let it go, and I want to start new. And it's kind of funny because I think that that's how God is, how God works in forgiving us. Yeah, we sin, we stray, but when we turn to God and we seek his forgiveness, he's always there. And my cousin, when I wanted it, or when I was asking him for forgiveness, like, he gave it to me, or at least I think he did, because whenever I see him now, like, our relationship is fine. It's not what it was before. Like, when I see him, like, I'm really interested in how he's doing in his life now. But I guess the point of it is, forgiving that person who hurts you. Like, he really hurt me, and I really felt betrayed by him. But I had to let go of my pride. I had to accept the Holy Spirit in my heart to forgive him, because I on my own could not do it. I don't have the strength for that. If it was me, I would be like, oh, why? I should just hold on to this grudge forever. Like, he doesn't deserve my friendship after what he's done, and after I tried to help him. And I failed to realize that it wasn't me helping him. It was God working through me, and I just got in the way, and my pride got in the way. And so, it's hard for us as humans to forgive, but with Jesus, by the power of his Holy Spirit working through us and touching our hearts, we can do it. And I know I was in that situation. I don't want to forgive him. I don't. But then, Jesus says that if we don't forgive others, he will not forgive us. And so I encourage you that if there are people out there that you want to forgive or ask forgiveness from, realize that you can't do it on your own. And that's why we need Jesus. That's why we need his Holy Spirit to do the forgiving through us and to show that person love